Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I am here in my redstone testing world where I've been messing a bit around with pistons and stuff and made the door from the first video. And here's a 3x3 slime door and honey block door, although I don't really like it. Today we're gonna make a 3x3 piston door, but not just make it, we're gonna understand how it works because I will not be watching a tutorial or video for this. I'm gonna try and make it however I know, and it's probably not gonna be an original design. Don't kill me on it, there's so many designs. It's almost impossible to come up with an original one. But, well, let's get on to it. Alright, so here we are. This is the 2x2 that you know from my other video. Opens up really easily. Closes down. I'll probably put the little eye at the top corner of the screen to show you how, like, for the video. And I'm gonna lower my sound. Alright, then over here I have a few pistons. So here's my regular double piston extender. As you can see, it works perfectly. It's really good. But then I try to make a vertical one. These are a bit harder because you have to power the block over here twice for this block to be taken and retracted. And this is what I came up with. This is my own design. I made my own design to prove that I knew the concept, because I wanted to make sure that I knew the concept. But then I looked it up because I was like, yeah, I'm not putting this in a 3x3 door. And I found this. This is 10 times better and smaller. Look at this. And then you can also put a redstone dust over here, which is good because that means it can be redirected, and that might be a good idea. You know, with a powered rail, I mean a detector rail. Well, there is that. Then we have this door over here. When I flick this lever, it closes. Flick it again, it opens. You might not. I hope you can see well. But when I open it, notice how the floor here lowers and then comes back out. That is so the slime block and honey blocks don't stick. Now, this design is not the best because number one, you need furnaces or whatever it is that you're using as an immovable object for this to look nice, for this not to stick and these to be able to move. And it doesn't look too nice. I mean, you're walking around and then there's this, and you can sort of see through these, and I don't really like that. There's also the fact that the way I made this, the lever has to be over here, and unless you do it one more block outer, you can have a T flip-flop, which means that you can open it from both sides. So it's like a come in, once you come out, you flick the lever again to close it, and I don't really like that. We're gonna be redesigning a different door, and the way this works is basically you have a bunch of torches over here powering these blocks. When you turn this on, that piston extends, pushing these 6 blocks, the honey and these 3 forward, like over here. And then the redstone signal powers off this right after this double piston extender is powered. This double piston extender is not your regular one. As you can see, it's a bit bigger, and that is because, as if you saw my first Redstone Academy video, pistons can only push up to 12 blocks, and this is actually 12 blocks, the slime blocks and these blocks. It's exactly 12 blocks, which means that this piston is pushing 12 blocks, but this one is pushing 13. And that meant that it wasn't extending, which is not a good thing. You want your piston to extend. So what I had to do, or how I solved this, is I put an observer over here. When you power this, before this is all powered, the observer is powered, and that causes this piston to extend once real quick, pushing these blocks, but letting go of them and retracting back the piston. The blocks stay there. Then this piston is only pushing one block, which is this piston, not 13, which means it can push them. Then this one powers again, and there you go. You have your piston extender. Although very interesting the way I saw this, I really liked it. And this opened the idea to me that you can have actually more than a 12 piston extender, which would be kind of cool. Well, now let's get started with, I have a chest over here. Let's get started with the actual 3x3 piston door. Okay, so here's the idea. This is not a flush door, so we don't have to worry about that because there's gonna be ground over here, right? But then this piston needs to extend. Then this one needs to retract that. Then this needs to extend. Then this one. Then this one, and then this one again, which is a regular double piston extender. And that is fairly easy to make. The only problem we're gonna have is when getting this block back in the middle, because what this would do is push this back, then push this one, and then it'll do the double piston. So you'll get that. We don't want that. We want this to stay the way it is. So what I'm gonna try and do, I was thinking about this last night because this is actually the next day. What I'm thinking that I'm gonna do, so what I'm thinking is, when you have the lever on is when this will close or do a NOT circuit, and when it's off, it's actually on, you know, whatever, either way. And since pistons cannot push extended pistons, if I get this piston to extend first, but not through the observers, so only when the lever is on it'll extend, then I can get this to extend, then this one, and then instead of having the double piston extender, I get this wired up first, and then this actually stays on like that, and then the double piston extender that gets powered, but it won't be able to do anything because this cannot extend and this is already extended, which means that it won't make a difference. So I hope you guys understood that. I hope you got the logic of that. I'm gonna start making this and I'll give you an update to see how it's going. Okay guys, so here is, I think, the opening of the door. I still haven't got the closing, but at least the opening. So yeah, as you can see, what happens is I'm gonna return this and close this up. Alright, so as you can see, this lever I don't know why that took so long for me to say. So this lever powers this redstone, and then once this redstone is powered, this observer powers this piston once, causing it to retract this block, right? Now, the signal continues over here, but we're gonna come back to this area later. The signal travels above this observer, which doesn't have to be above the observer. I just did it because, I mean, it doesn't affect anything, really. It's just there. I mean, the observer was there, convenient. It was in the way. We had to place it above. And then a few ticks later, I'm actually gonna reduce this. But a few ticks later, this is powered. So a few ticks after this is powered. This block is retracted. This observer, or this redstone dust, is powered. And then it powers this block, which takes that block back. So what is happening is, this observer powers this piston, which takes that block here. Powers and retracts. It's here. Few ticks later, I think it's like 3 ticks later, this observer powers this piston, so it expands, and then retracts the block over here, right? Now, I said we're gonna come back to this. While that was happening, the signal was traveling through here. So 7 ticks later, or in that case that I did, the test was 8, but 7 ticks later, this observer gets powered, which powers our double piston extender that you can see over here. I did not design this. I forgot the name of the guy who did. I'll hopefully remember to put his video in the description. If I don't, let me know down in the comment section and I'll put it as a comment. But yeah, so we have that. the observer powers the double piston extender, and it extends, double piston extends, and takes this block back down. That means that we can, that's it, that's like our floor. We don't need to put a floor or anything, that's it. Now you can just walk through here. And let me show you guys one more time how this works. And there it is. Now when we extend, that happens. So I think that can be fixed though. I think that can be fixed. Something happened. Something clearly happened. Oh, okay, I'm stupid. Never mind. Yes! Yes, we got it to work! It's a bit more complicated than most you've seen. But look at these, okay? It works perfectly. It's perfect. And then even when this block gets retracted, you already have a floor here. And I don't think it'll affect if I just place a block there. But then let me put this over here. Oh, perfect. And look, it's almost 100% flush. I mean, not flush. Under the ground. The only problem is you kind of have to have your wall here, unless you put like a piston under. Yeah, no, you kind of have to have your wall here, which is a bit bad. But it's a start. It's a start for me. This is a big achievement. So I'm just gonna make my floors here, and I'm probably gonna make this a T flip flop instead, because unlike that one, this one can actually work with a T flip flop. So now all we need to do is retract these blocks, which I've heard many YouTubers say, well, now that's a hard part. How is that the hard part? How is that the hard part? Well, we'll see, I guess. I guess we will see how they call that the hard part. I forgot to explain to you how this works. I'm getting a bit over my head, okay. So when you turn this on, this... hold on. Okay, so when you turn this on, the signal travels to here, which extends this piston, which powers that block, which powers the first piston. So powers this piston. Once this piston is powered, this thing, oh, it retracts, right? The piston powers and retracts. Then this line powers this piston, which brings the block there, takes the block over here. And then, right after that happens, the redstone line going in the red over here, it powers this piston, which fully extends, and then the rest of the blue line, which is the double piston extender, and this one again, just stays. This one can work, and then this one also can't work. So as you can see, right now, this got powered. It did nothing because there was no blocks here. You can't retract this piston because it's powered. So it just extended and retracted, and it did absolutely nothing. When you open this thing, this line starts shutting off, right? So this shuts off, causing the piston to... Hold on, let's do it again because I sort of lost... I don't even know how I did it anymore. So first that piston retracts, right? Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that happens, that piston retracts. Then this piston extends, doing absolutely nothing. Then this gets shut off, which is no longer powering that. Which means that this double piston extender works. But before that works, this line over here powers this, removing the block that it retracted, which is this one. Once that gets removed, this line now works. And it's still not powered because it's powering because of all the repeaters. Once it gets powered, the double piston extends, retracts, and then this is what you get. So basically, to prevent the double piston extension from happening on the closing of the door, what I have done is I've closed it off. But then the problem that I was having was that this block wasn't pulling the other block or pushing it. It wasn't pushing it so we can close the door at the correct time. It was going too fast. This was going a bit too fast or too slow. Honestly, I can't even think of it anymore. It was going a bit too fast or slow, and it wasn't working because only one block would get placed back, and the middle would be empty. So what I did to fix that was I ran two lines into this. So now it gets powered from two places, blue and green. Green powers first. So when you're closing the door, the block actually gets placed there, and then the blue line, when it's opening, does nothing. When it's closing the door, okay, that was all meant to be opening. Closing, not opening. When this is closing, this piston places the block there. So I messed it all up. Okay, so this piston puts the this block there, so it can you know close the door. When it's opening, this does nothing since it gets power first, and there's nothing it can do. But then this one retracts the block so that the double piston extender can take the middle block. I hope you understood. If you don't, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. I'll answer them, hopefully. If not, I'll make another video of explaining this thing. And this is just like building it. I'll make another one explaining it and try to be a bit more clear. I'll see what I'm messing up on, depending on your questions. So now I'm just gonna, continue building this. Alright, so now we have the sides done. All we need is the top. As you can see, it is not particularly fast, but it works, and I'm happy about that. I am really happy about that. Here it is. Ah, this is wonderful. Okay, let's build the top. Okay, so I think all I need to do is place a redstone over here. That extends this. I don't see why this won't work. The line is still running into the piston over there. This is good. This is good. This was causing problems when I put the torch over here. It was so funny. I had no idea what was happening, but I think that's it. I think this is done. Oh, that was so satisfying to watch. And look at this. Look at this. No redstone visible. Oh, wow. Now I'm obsessed with this door. I'm obsessed with this door now. This is beautiful. Ah, yes. Not exactly pretty. I mean, look at the size of this thing. But I'm proud of myself because I didn't copy anybody's design, and it's after all my first 3x3 piston door, other than this one. But this one's like slime block, so it doesn't count. It's not real redstone. It's when you're just using these slime blocks and you can't even put like a wall next to it. This is amazing. Wow. Alright, so what I did after these, I ran the dark blue line, as you can see it over here, right? So I just took out a redstone torch. Oh, that might cause some problems. I'm just gonna take this, place it over here. Okay, there we go. So what I did was I took a redstone torch out of this, which is now powered off because this block is being powered, and ran it. Pick that up. And ran it right into this block, which has a torch with a block, and then a redstone dust on top of it. So this torch powers this piston. This block is being powered, so it powers this piston, and then this dust is being powered, so it powers this piston. And then I couldn't run this glass up to the side because the dust would be facing that way instead, and then it wouldn't be able to. And then this piston wouldn't be powered, so I ran it up the wall, and I used this glass That way this signal doesn't pass down to here, although I don't think it will cause any trouble, but you know, just to be safe. And also because now it's, when you use glass, this is an important thing to know if you want to learn redstone. Glass doesn't treat redstone as glass and slabs don't treat redstone well. So as you can see over here, this should, on the reality, this should be powered off. This shouldn't be connected to this because the glass is blocking it. I mean, look at this. It's obviously being blocked, and yet this happens. Why? Because for some reason glass acts like slabs. The redstone can still travel up and through the glass because it is not a full block. I believe you can do this with also some light sources that are not full blocks. And so this is an easy way to make like a pillar of redstone. So you can just go like, if I grab the dust, you can see the line is traveling all the way down. And from this side it looks like it's not connected, but then you can see it is, and then it looks like it's not connected there, but really it is. So you can't see redstone through the glass. But see. So if you have like your roof maybe, that's a cool illusion. If you have lighting and your roof is glass, you can just put redstone dust on top of it, and then put your lights there, and it's not visible. At least from the inside. The same thing on the other side. I ran a torch powered off through here, and then I put this over here so it blocks this one and this one from connecting. That way the dust is actually running into the block to power off the torch, to power off the block, to power off the redstone dust, to power off the pistons. And then when I shut this off, this torch turns on, powering this block, which shuts this off, which shuts this off, which shuts this off, which shuts the pistons off, and then the same thing on the other side. This is powered, and there you go. That's a NOT circuit. So when this is off, this is on. See, that's a NOT because it's the opposite. Not a knot as in, tying a knot. A knot as in NOT. One more detail that I want to add to this door is a monostable circuit. So, we'll add it. Okay, so here it is. The orange is the monostable circuit. Right? And then the cyan, which is not the light blue, it's a tiny bit different. Here, I'm going to show you how it's different. Over here. See, it's a bit different, okay? So the cyan is taking the signal from the monostable circuit and taking it up to here. If you do not know what a monostable circuit is, then I'll probably make a video on it. It's one of the most essential things that you need in a redstone contraption. Almost every contraption has it. But now, if you can see, if I press this button over here, the door closes. If I press it again, okay, I'm back. I think I fixed it this time. I think I fixed it. So if I press this button, the whole door closes. If I press it again, the whole door opens up. Oh, that got me scared right there. But the beauty of the monostable circuit, or I don't know if it's a monostable or a T flip-flop. I keep saying monostable, but it might be a T flip-flop. So the beauty of this circuit down here is that I pressed the button there, and it activated the whole door from that button. But now I can deactivate it from this button and activate it again from here. See, so I can doesn't matter which button you press, it'll just change the state of the door. That's all it does. It changes the state of the door. So instead of having an on and off switch, this is like your switch, but it can be turned on and off from multiple places, which is amazing. In the Bedrock edition, we use a different version of the T flip-flop. It does not look like this. It's not as I think it's as compact, but it's a lot more complicated, and I would have never been able to make it myself if I hadn't looked it up. This is a lot easier to make. A lot easier. Look at this. Look at this thing. And also the door itself. Look how compact this is compared. Well, you don't know my Bedrock one, but this is so much more compact compared to my Bedrock one. Wow. Alright. I think that's been it for today, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, let me know down in the comment section below. And hasta la vista.